Hello there and welcome to the news update. I am Mimuna Bagudu. The federal government is enthralled by the recent initiative of Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to help save the naira, but there were also some eyebrow raised. Although the federal government accepted the NNPC's announcement that it had received a $3 billion emergency crude oil repayment loan from the African Export-Import Bank to help stabilize the naira and help in lowering petrol prices, analysts suspect that the National Oil Corporation still operates as a government department despite its recent transformation to a fully commercial, profit-oriented corporation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should prioritize long-term national interest over temporary relief and immediately begin radical reforms in the organization. The NNPC has long been known for fiscal recklessness and lack of accountability, as shown by numerous reports by domestic and international authorities, as well as revelations at numerous legislative hearings. Its outward transformation took place last year in accordance with the Petroleum Industry Act, which mandated its reform. Many observers agree that the transition from a state corporation to a limited liability company is largely cosmetic. Its long history as a state appendage emerged with the power of the government has clarified its state-centric habits in the last 3 weeks. Petrol prices had risen to 590 naira to 620 naira per litre and then falling to 570 naira to 600 naira per litre. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations (NIPR) held its 7th annual General Meeting Conference and elections for new leaders in Abuja. The theme of the meeting and the annual conference is leadership, public relations, and value creation. Chat Moses has the full report.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations held its 7th annual General Meeting, Conference and elections for new leaders. The outgoing president and chairman of the Council Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Mukhtar Zubairu Siraju, expressed gratitude for the opportunity given to him to serve the institute for 2 terms. He noted that the PR Institute is aware of the challenges that Nigerians are facing due to the difficult but necessary decision of the federal government to remove fuel subsidy, and hoped that all palliative measures are in place to cushion the effects of this step on citizens. Speaking on the Institute's support for democracy as a system of leadership, he stated that the Institute is against the use of force as a form of conflict resolution, and on that note, condemned the actions of Nigerian coupists in taking over power from democratically elected leaders.
We are clearly opposed to the use of force as a strategy of conflict resolution. Our stance on diplomatic dialogue is also born out of the dire consequences of any military option which is capable of throwing the region into further conflict escalation. The resultant refugee crisis, loss of human lives, assets, and the huge budgetary implications given the fiscal challenges currently being faced by most countries in the sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria's position is tangential to the Republic of Niger, putting her in a position to face many adverse repercussions that may arise from military action.
Suraju further expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for appointing Idris Malagi as Minister of Information and National Orientation, as well as Bashir Adewale Adeniyi as the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs, noting that they are both members of the PR Institute. He pledged his support and commitment to work with both parties to push forward the mandate of the nation. Also, while giving his presentation, the guest speaker of the event, Mr. Lampe Omoyele, urged PR practitioners to be inclusive in all they do and not just focus on communication field. He added that fields like PR in medicine, engineering, law, and many other fields can be considered. Moses Patience Chats reporting for Value Chain TV.
Nigerians' unemployment rate has dropped to 4.1% in the first quarter of 2023 from 5.3% in the fourth quarter of 2022. The National Bureau of Statistics revealed this while presenting the Nigerian Labour Force Survey report for fourth quarter 2022 and first quarter of 2023. Chat Moses reports.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics report, Nigeria's unemployment rate rose to 33.3% in March 2021, the highest level in at least 13 years and the second highest level in the world. The report indicated that the nation's lingering economic crisis, which was compounded by the coronavirus pandemic, pushed the unemployment rate to 27.1% in the second quarter of 2020.
After the publication that we have during the COVID-19 era or period, that is Q4 2020 labor force figure, which was significantly reduced by the COVID-19 lockdown, it became necessary for us to re-examine the methodology and approach for conducting the labor force survey.
With the country's economy going into recession in 2016, the unemployment rate has more than quadrupled. As a result, a virtual meeting of the National Economic Advisory Council and the World Bank was held to discuss Nigeria's data collection practices for employment statistics.
This kind of data periodically helps government, helps all of us figure out what's going well, what's working well, where the problems are, what kind of interventions are needed, what kinds of policies and programs are needed, and in general, just to take the pulse of how are Nigerians doing.
The Statistician General of the Federation, Prince Adeyemi Adediran, while presenting the report, said provisions will be made for employment with the minister's support, assuring that the launch of the report will bring about positive changes in figure and methodology.
Using the new ILO definition, the survey showed that unemployment rate for the fourth quarter of 2022 stood at 5.3%. And for the first quarter of 2023, it was 4.1%.
There were goodwill messages from the Central Bank of Nigeria and the International Labour Organization. Chat Moses reporting for Value Chain TV.
The former Kaduna chapter chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Alhaji Bashir Adamu Chidi, has been elected with 16 orders to serve on the Governing Council of the NIPR for the next 2 years. The election is the high point of the 2023 conference and annual general meeting of the Institute, which held at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja. Rema O has the full details.
Alhaji Chedi emerged fourth in the ranking of votes in the election described by many as the most keenly contested in the history of the institute. The former chairman ranked next to Dr. Ike Neliaku, who emerged as president and chairman of council in the collegiate voting, which followed the general ballot. Although a former council member, Alhaji Chedi has been described as a dark horse in the race, whose eventual feat followed a robust campaign ahead of the elections and sustained horse trading and strategic alliances by his campaign team and delegation from the chapter in the build-up to the actual voting. His emergence in the council for a second outing after serving in the same capacity in the past is reckoned as coming on the heels of recent spate of a growing recognition of the Kaduna chapter's numerous trailblazing initiatives. While congratulating the new council member, former vice president of the institute, Dr. Mohammed Awal Haruna, noted with delight that his victory will signify re-engagement of Kaduna chapter in the affairs of the institute, adding that NIPR will benefit from Alhaji Chedi's vast experience and professionalism. Alhaji Chedi was at different times chapter secretary and chairman on 2 separate outings, including serving as council member and in several national standing committees in his voyage of over 3 decades in the institute. He is a mass communication graduate of Bayero University and he holds a postgraduate diploma in corporate management law, a master's degree in international affairs and diplomacy, as well as business administration. He is currently the director of corporate communications, commercial and public relations at Donye Aviation Nigeria, AIEP Kaduna. Adabi Rema Ogwejofo reporting for Value Chain TV.
That is all for the news update. Thanks for watching. I am Nimana Bagudu.